Hi there. I wanted to share with you today information about your next textbook. It's HTML5 CSS3, and I wanted to just explain how to get into the book. It's not real involved, but I thought a little video might be helpful. Basically, to find this and see how it all works, make sure you're in D2L, you've logged in, and go over here where it says Content. And then go down. Make sure you're in Web Development Section 2. If you click on that, then you'll see we've done, at this point, you will have worked on Photoshop, the design collection, and now we're ready for web development and design foundations with HTML5 CSS3. That's the official name. So let's click there. Okay, here we are. Here's our page that explains the textbook and how to get started with it. First of all, we see in here, we see what you're going to be learning, a picture of the book. Now, there's two different books. You may have one or the other. This is a picture of the 8th edition, and then some students may have the 7th edition, the one right before it. They're virtually the same book. There are a few differences, but the way you get into the book and start is pretty much the same. All right, how you get going, once you have the book, in the inside front cover of the book, there's login information right here, and then there's login information on the inside front cover of your book. When you get there, it'll explain how to get to the website of the publisher and how to get to your data files. You can download data files, and there are also some videos that you can watch. I would recommend, as you start each chapter, download the files involved for that chapter and watch the video before you start anything else. And the video will give you kind of an overview. The beauty of these videos are that they give you a little idea of what you're going to be learning. And if you need to watch them more than once, you easily can. If you want to stop and start them, you can do that too. So they're pretty cool. Now, this explains one way to get into them. And by doing that, let me show you how that works. Let's see. Once you've used their login information to get to the website, you'll see something currently on the 8th edition, and it'd be very similar if you were using the 7th edition, a page that looks something like this once you use their URL. Then if you go to the companion website, you'll get here, and then you'll be able to download the video. They call them video notes. And if I click here, I'll be able to go over to there, and there are the videos for each chapter. I'm going to go back, or you can get to the data files, and then there you can see the data files for each chapter. That's one way to do it. The other way to get to these files would be, because it seems to work fine for most people, but once in a while you may get to a chapter and you just can't, maybe depending where you're working, maybe, I don't know about your internet, but my internet connection at home that I work from can be real fast, and on some days it's slow. And it's supposed to be very fast all the time, but that's just the way it happens. Sometimes it's not. So what I've done, I've gone through and created this, save these files for you somewhere else. And so if you go back to the Dropbox here, and we scroll down, you can see where you've worked through Photoshop, and some of you have worked through the ACA test prep information. Design collection, here is our current book, and I've put the data files here also. So you can get them either place, wherever you want to get them. Here's the data files for the class, and it's just one big folder that you download, and then you just save them on your desktop. And then here are the chapter videos. So here's your chapter 1 video. So if you want to watch that, then you would click here, download the video, and I'm going to go, and there it is. And then you can start watching the video. Okay, so you, of course, wouldn't stop there. You would watch the whole thing, but that'll give you an overview each time of what's going on with the chapter. And so once you've seen the video, you download your files, then the next step is, in your textbook, start reading. So you've got an overview from the videos, which you can watch more than once if you want, of course. And then you go to your page in the book, okay? So let's see, I have a digital copy of one of the versions. Let's go to this, okay? Here is a digital copy. Your version may look like this or may look a little different, but basically the inside cover, as I mentioned before, tells you how to get to the data files. So they're there at the publisher's website, and I've also put them on the D2L site for you, okay? So then if you go, you read through the information, you don't want to miss anything, but there's different things here. Here's the title page, preface, and let's see, we finally will get to the information. Now, the first chapter is different than a lot of the other chapters. I'm just going through the table of contents real quick, and we'll get to, okay, here's the first page of the actual chapter. Introduction to the Internet and World Wide Web. You may know most of all this information from your own experience, but there's a good chance there's a couple things here and there that you say, oh, I didn't know that. So just take your time, read through it, watch the video, and then for this very first chapter, just tell me 5 things you learned. You can type it out in Microsoft Word or whatever text software you have that you can type it out in, and then upload it to D2L, where it says Chapter 1. So let's see, where were we with that? Here we are over here. So you would go back in here, and for your Chapter 1 information, you'd come back, click here, and then this is where you would add your file. Give me a message if you want. If you don't want to, you don't need to. And then add the file, click submit, and that's where you would turn that Microsoft Word document or however you want to type it out in. Now, that's for your first chapter. Now I'm going to go ahead and close this. Okay, for your second chapter and most of the others, there is another chapter in there as you get through the book where it will be a chapter where you just read and list 5 things. But wherever you see a chapter that has hands-on exercises, that's what you'll be turning in on most of the chapters. For instance, as you move through here, read the chapter, don't skip anything. Even if you know HTML or feel that you do, read the information, see the history. Sometimes some of this information, even if it's older information, it can be helpful as you're learning newer information. As we go through here are the different pages. When I get to hands-on practice 2.1, that's your cue that this is what you want to work on. Okay, so you've downloaded data files. Now, often what they'll do, they'll give you a data file with the beginning of this information. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So look at your data files and see if they've given you a file to get you going on this. If not, most of the time, you'll find they'll just tell you what to type in. Now, the first of the chapter, they're going to explain how to get started on a Mac or how to get started on a PC. So no matter what situation you have, don't skip anything, because I've had people do that. They'll skip stuff, they'll get in a hurry, get excited, and they'll skip part of it, and then they'll call me and say, well, how do I do it on a PC? Or how do I do it on a Mac? It's explained here in the chapter, so don't jump ahead. Make sure you read everything. But you can see here is the code that you'll be working with. And this, I know it's kind of small, but when you get into the book, when you see where it says hands-on practice, there's going to be several of them throughout each chapter. Like I said, in the version 7 book, there were about 3 chapters where you just turned in the 5 things you learned. So if you get into a chapter and you're reading through it, and you notice there are no hands-on practice, just keep reading and just give me 5 things you learned. And type it out in Microsoft Word or something similar. But wherever you see hands-on practice, those are things you're going to want to turn in. So when you type this out, save the file in a folder. And it could be your data file folder for chapter 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. This is chapter 2. And save all the things you do in the folder for, say, chapter 2. Zip the folder and upload it to D2L. And that's what you'll be turning in. So the first chapter is just 5 things you learn. Chapter 2, then you want to turn in each hands-on. There's several of them in here, but type them out, and that's what you'll be turning in. HTML5 and CSS3 is the under the hood information. This is what you really need to know. If you really want to be a web developer and designer, this is the key. Doesn't mean you'll be coding every website. You might ultimately use something like Dreamweaver or WordPress or something else to create your sites. But often there's little things you want to tweak and adjust, even when you're using one of those softwares or content management systems. And you'll find this should be a lot of fun, but also very helpful in your career as a web developer and designer. Okay? So basically that's it. And that's what I want to let you know. And if you run into anything as you're going along, of course, always contact me and let me know. Either give me a call or email me, and we'll figure out what any issues you're having, if any. Hopefully everything will go smoothly for you. And I hope you have a great day.